Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hello, hello. Happy Friday, everyone.
Hello.
I want to tell anybody that we're going to give it a few
Yep.
because I don't see anybody in the chat yet. I have plastered this thing everywhere.
I'll tell jokes.
There you go.
I wrote a little mini book, if you want to say, using humor to describe the keto lifestyle. I will gladly email it to whoever. So those that come on, I can send you the link. Well, I don't even know how to. I think I'm pretty funny. So
Right.
we can wait for a few minutes, or we could start and ask people to.
Yeah.
There's somebody.
Yeah, that's Lynn.
Hi, Lynn,
Hey,
cute cat.
Lynn.
I
Happy
love the name.
Friday.
Yeah, she's
Yay!
really a sweetheart. But
Yay!
as what we do is as people come in, I highlight the chat.
Okay.
Questions I will grab because I'm sure people will have questions for you.
They can ask me anything. I reserve the right to not answer certain questions, but
That's right. That's right.
they can ask me anything.
That's right. This is Charlie. Glad you could make it, Charlie.
The dark side.
Welcome,
Darth.
Charlie. Happy Friday.
There's a lot to
But
that story, I'm sure, Charlie.
yes,
Yeah,
he's definitely
share
got
this
his
to your
channel.
stream, everybody. Yeah, if you've got any audience at all, share this. We will have fun tonight.
Yes, we
No,
will.
I
absolutely.
don't even know how to sit and look at the camera. Hello.
On your bum.
Well, I am, but there's less bum than there used to be. So
I know that. I know that feeling. As long as it's a cushion chair, I'm good.
yeah,
hmm
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of us could relate to that for
That's
sure.
like we go out to eat. I said, "Can I please get a booth? Because the
right.
chairs are way
We
too
do the
hard."
same thing. That's so funny you say that.
Your sit bones, which is in nursing called the ischial tuberosity, start to hurt.
Yep,
They for
I
sure
could go
definitely
do.
deeper, but
does.
I won't at this point because Charlie may get embarrassed. But we'll stop.
So, what brought you to Florida?
My grandson, his name is Noah. He's Rachel D's son, and Hoot. They're away at a conference and asked if I could come and baby. Monday was his birthday, so I arrived Sunday night, and I'll be here till they get back. Well, they get back tomorrow, but I'll leave Wednesday morning.
That's
Where
nice.
about in Florida?
Lakeland,
Oh
which is
gosh.
it's sort of in between Tampa and Orlando. I fly into whatever
Yes.
airport is cheaper
I know. If you were
when I
not
come.
like over 2 hours away from me, because that's like 2 hours north of us.
Oh, where are you down? Like Okeechobee or somewhere?
Uh, We're
Am I?
actually more south. We're
Uh-huh.
like in the Vero Beach area.
Oh yeah, lovely. Yep,
Yeah.
lovely.
I am
Yeah.
in Kentucky still. So,
Oh come on.
I
are you coming to
try.
Keto Palooza?
I have no. How far away is that? I can only
It's
think
in
about right.
Louisville in October.
Oh my word, girl! I can't think that far ahead.
Debbie and I are going to be at KetoCon
Oh, I'll
again
be
in
there. I'll
Austin.
be there. That's an hour and a half drive from me from home.
Yeah, that's
So
May 30th through June 2nd.
nope, I won't be there. I'm on the keto
Going on the
cruise.
cruise.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought so.
I'm speaking on it. Yeah. So much for that this year.
Yeah, they overlapped them. That was so crazy.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah, it's actually Hack Your Health this year by KetoCon.
there you go.
Yeah, that's the formal name of it now.
Really? You know what? It's probably to draw a larger audience since keto is sort of so far
hmm
as search engine type stuff.
Oh, I think because they went more towards the health aspect than it was like last year
Right.
there were people upset about KetoCon
Hmm.
because the way
Hmm.
they changed from the previous year. And I wasn't there the previous year, so I don't know the difference, but there was
Isn't that strange that I didn't notice that much of a difference? But you can't,
Mhm.
they'll have like 2 or 3 sub rooms in the main stage. So you can't, so I don't know. I didn't even pay attention to what because to me, the food I eat enables the
hmm
lifestyle. And
Mhm.
so it is absolutely more than just food.
Right.
Food for me was the driver because before this I couldn't ever get it
Yes.
under control. But the health benefits are what keep me here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the knowledge, yeah.
All
All
the
the
stuff.
knowledge to be gained, exactly. Because that's what you're taking home for sure. Any like little goodies and stuff you might take, they're
Yeah.
only gonna last so long.
Yeah.
Once they're done, they're done. Then you could
I
try
would-
to see whatever promo codes are out there or whatever, but the
And the
knowledge you
longer
take
I do
away
this,
is like forever.
yeah, I've been doing this 7 years now, probably over 7. And interestingly enough, food has become less and less and less and less important
Mhm.
as the journey has continued,
Yeah.
which is weird, right? I never, ever, ever saw that coming because I was all about what did I just eat? What can I eat next? How soon again can I eat it? How
Mhm.
can I hide it? What can I do to, not let anyone know how much I'm eating?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
That was very
huge,
much like for us too.
it was
Because
a
our
huge,
family, this January just hit 5 years. And 1 year carnivore for me because I switched at the
Mhm.
4 year keto mark for myself. But
Mhm.
like you're saying, like even you get so focused on like recipes, trying to keep things
Yep.
interesting.
At
And
first I did. Mhm.
now it's like the simplicity. Like I don't really care if I have cheeseburgers every day. It
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
matter to
and
I
me.
have a surprise for you, Cindy.
you do.
I do.
Oh,
Are you ready?
I am.
yes.
Hi, Cindy's.
There's Debbie.
Dang.
Both of my sisters.
Yes.
The
And
double
this is
whammy of
my sister,
Cindy.
Sana. This is
Oh,
Debbie,
Yes,
the
Deb.
infamous Debbie.
The
So
elusive.
very nice.
Hi.
So very nice to
How you doing,
formally meet you as well.
So good to see you. I have to
Oh,
look away from
yeah.
the camera to see you. You down there in the corner. Hi, Debbie. Well, that is such a wonderful surprise. Yay.
Yes.
Well, good.
I really had to convince to get her to do this.
Cindy Demange, why don't you give everybody a little backstory of why we're having Deb pop in?
Well,
I
for
just got
those that
home, for
are
one
here,
thing.
they must be silent. But at Keto Palooza 2022, Deb and I got to meet Cindy, and it was just the most amazing meeting.
Yes.
And this is all pertains to Cindy's story, which she needs to tell. But she had a sister, Debbie, who got her started on keto the way my sister, Debbie, got me started on keto. And it was just such a fantastic similarity there that we just all hit it off right away. And it was just fantastic.
It was more than hit it off. It was immediate bonding and many tears. And now I have to use the bed sheet, which I pulled over. I warned you guys ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because your story is so poignant and similar. Except I don't have my Debbie anymore. And you two immediately offered to be my sisters. And
Without a doubt.
Yeah. It was meant to be.
It was
That's
so
what
fantastic.
I
It still
told
is.
Cindy, that it was meant to be because
yeah.
Can you have the connection with the way of eating? Yeah. You could have that connection with anybody in the community, but to have the commonality and the connection of the names, like when she first told me, I had just goosebumps. Like I was just in complete awe of the story.
I was sobbing and hugging them and sobbing and hugging them. And then I get up on stage to speak and I have them stand up and I'm up there on stage, ugly crying.
Everybody there was in tears after that. It was like,
and I haven't been invited to speak yet since then.
Oh, no. I've been trying. I've been pushing Autumn to invite you for Keto Palooza.
It's, you know what? There's so many different voices now these days. Now I've got a piece of hair in my mouth from crying. So pardon me while I hair off. But anyway, you guys really touched, and we continue. Really, I've hair. All right, keep going. I'll deal with it. Maybe not. Anyway, what is that?
It was very touching for us too. Very touching.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because just the commonality.
Sorry.
Your paths were destined
Yeah,
to cross.
they were. And hello, Beverly from Nebraska.
Yes.
As you guys are coming in, not only tell us where you're from, but forward this, post it on your page, because I didn't get to how to stream this to my page yet. I will. So
Right.
No,
I
absolutely.
will share
We
the link
definitely
with you
appreciate that.
after.
yeah. Do you want me to start telling my story or wait for some more to come
Sure.
in?
Well, I'll tell
Sure.
you what, I'm going to let you guys talk. And I'm going to feed my dog and get myself some
Okay.
supper. I just got home.
Hi, Debbie. Work still busy?
Very,
Same here.
but
Ditto.
you know, I like it that way.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, better than being bored.
But I'm going to go turn on my TV and watch you guys on the big screen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Well,
you're going to turn
thank
on your
you, Deb.
TV and watch something else.
No. I'm going to watch you
She's
guys.
going to put you on the big screen, Cindy.
Oh my! Oh, ooh. Oh, you go right ahead, Deb.
Thank you,
Bye,
Debbie.
guys.
Thank you,
Bye,
Deb. We
sweetheart.
appreciate
Bye.
you.
Love you.
So happy to see you. Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was amazing.
Oh, honey,
I had-
thank you, Cindy. Thank you.
I
That was
really,
wonderful.
really had to really push her.
Well,
She
Debbie,
just-
I thank you. Thank you
Yes.
from the bottom of my heart. When you're not comfortable on camera, this really is a big deal. It is.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It was
So-
like, it was weird for me to be doing this. So it was like, even for me to start my
did I
channel,
not
that
challenge you?
everybody,
I told you needed to tell your story, didn't I?
Yeah.
that you were one of them. You were one of many.
And I
Definitely.
ended up dragging her into the lives.
Good.
Well, I think I
Good son.
agreed.
Yeah.
So
All right,
her
so
and
you
I
want me to
do
start
these
with
every
my list?
Friday night.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Then I might
Yes.
just pop on in. So my name, everyone, is Cindy Miller Mikowachik. You try to spell that last name. It's Mikola-JCZYK Mikowachik. I'm a nurse. Been a registered nurse since 1978. So this year I celebrate, if I do the math right, I think 45 years as a registered nurse, which Sana is probably older than, I've been a nurse longer than you were born, but that's okay. Well, not really, but it's okay. So
I'm keeping hush.
yeah, I know. Just keep the lips closed. My family has a history of obesity, and way back, generational. And they immigrated over from Sweden, my mom's side, and my dad's side was of German descent. And they met, and her parents were products of the Depression. They grew up during that. So if you could afford to feed your child well and they were chubby, it was a sign of affluence, or at least food was such a pivotal. People literally were starving during the Depression in certain parts of the country. And so food was everything. It was how you mourned with someone. It was how you celebrated. It was how you rejoiced. It was it was pivotal to love.
Right.
And when it was not as much super processed, uber processed, ultra processed, food-like substances, frankenfoods, whatever you want to call it, we could still handle a lot of that. But despite that, I had a very early, highly emotional response to carbohydrates, even toast or rice or potatoes. And it became a real refuge or solace. As I was growing up in the first grade, I weighed 98 pounds. I've always been the largest child, adolescent, teenager, nursing student, nurse of anyone that I knew. I never had a normal weight ever growing up. I'm 5'0", 5'3", and my highest weight was 305 pounds. And it was a very big challenge. Back then, there was not the high preponderance of obesity. It was very rare. If you look at some of the movies from the 50s and 60s, even the 70s, there was always one fat kid. And that fat kid was the butt of jokes. was
Absolutely.
the one that had to be the happy one, because you could go one of two ways, right? You could be totally ostracized, or you could become the class clown, the funny one, the one that made jokes first. I have a very not quite exuberant, but a very optimistic, positive attitude. My mom said that I was like a ray of sunshine growing up. And I think a lot of personality traits are just sort of who you are. And I opted to be that outgoing person. I opted to be involved, be engaged, be the funny one all through high school. Very involved in student government, was top of my class in nursing school, driven to succeed. And I think in many ways it was offsetting that I had to get special nursing student uniforms made. Because back in the 70s, when I was in nursing school, they didn't have 2X's.
Yep.
They just didn't. I remember distinctly growing up when Sears was still in business, having to go and shop in the Husky department. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was before it was women's.
Yes.
It was the Husky department. Or mom had to make my shirts, because that's back when you had the sort of the puff sleeve and the armband that was like whatever that's called. It had no elastic in it, and I could not fit my arms in it. So suffice that to say, food was a major trigger that kept me, but I didn't know any better. I knew nothing. I was not someone that got pregnant and gained weight or gained weight in college. I have never, up until now, been considered normal size, ever. I am 60. I'll be 67 years old in 2 months. What a revelation. Keto, low carb, carnivore, proper human diet, whatever you want to call it. I call it freedom. I call it freedom because
Absolutely. Yeah.
set me free. When I was, so I had lost weight down to the, here, anyone else give me a thumbs up on the chat or a heart if you've ever yo-yo weighed, not yo-yo dieted, but yo-yo weighed. You weigh, you do. You talk about Jenny Craig. My first time I joined Weight Watchers, I was 16, because that was the earliest you could join back then. And all those times that I would get close, I used to think 160 was a lot of weight. You get to 305 and 160 is very, very appealing.
Oh, yeah.
So nothing worked for me, because it was all discipline and rigor and calorie reduction, move more, eat less. And I think we've all discovered that lifestyle is almost unsustainable, which is why 95% of the people will regain it. And even those that have done keto or carnivore, you name it, will, if you think that losing the weight is the goal and you go back to what got you in trouble in the first place. If you've run out of gas once and somebody fills up your gas tank and you never fill up your gas, you will run out of gas again. So you just, so when I was 240 pounds when I started keto, and I only started it because my sister Debbie, who's gone to be with the Lord, kept calling me. She was bothering me. She never bothered me. She was asking me to join her in this low carb lifestyle. And I was like, not interested, because food was a comfort. Food was a solace. Food was a reward. Okay, let me rephrase that. It wasn't food. It was certain foods. It was these highly processed frankenfoods that were pieced together by big business to keep me addicted. And I have a shirt that I've had to take in several times, and it says recovering carbaholic. And it isn't just a carbaholic, because no one goes into a 12-step program for broccoli, right? I just can't stop eating the broccoli. I just can't. It's when scientists and food manufacturers join forces, and they take and they overprocess foods to the point that the fiber is removed, the vitamins and nutrients are removed, it's bleached, it's processed. They add things back in, but that is not the same, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the same. You freeze an actual orange, not that I eat oranges, but you freeze an actual orange, and then you let it thaw and you try to eat it. That fiber's been destroyed. But so people think orange juice is healthy, but that anyway. So I digress. So Debbie finally sent me a video. It's the one by Dr. Sarah Hallberg, who has also passed away from lung cancer, oddly enough, and she didn't smoke. And anyway, my sister passed away from oral cancer that metastasized, and she never chewed snuff or all those things. She never drank alcohol. Long story short, she said, Cindy, will you simply watch this video? And if you've ever heard Dr. Berry, the powdered baby butt syndrome, where if they powdered your baby butt, they're not going to listen to advice you give them. Big sisters, it's hard to listen to them. I don't know, Cindy, if you resisted when you're Debbie. Did you resist or did you join right away?
Let me ask you. I was 3 months. 3 months of her sending messages on our sister chat, because we have 2 other sisters. Right? 3 months before I agreed to go along with it.
Yeah.
What a cutie.
Hello, cutie pie. Oh my
Hi.
gosh.
He's adorable.
So when he comes, Chief comes too. But anyway, yeah, I was probably close to that.
Mm-hmm.
But once she sent me that video by Dr. Hallberg, and do you want anything?
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
I love you too, sweetie.
Oh,
Once she sent me that in that third party, that doctor was talking about what if we've been treating diabetes wrong the whole time? And I have a daughter, Rachel, that's type 1, his mom. And I deal with a lot of, okay, honey, that's enough. I got it. You can come back in later. Okay, off you go. Bye. See you later. Bye.
Ow, 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 ow.
he's cute.
Oh, he's so cute. He is precious. Anyway.
Well, you've got your grandson there. This is my granddaughter. Yep. One of them.
Oh,
let me see.
Oh, is she right there?
Oh, just there. Just her name. That's all.
Oh, okay. So she doesn't have her picture.
No.
She's just telling her hello, grandma.
Yeah, that's all.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
I know this looks so exciting.
He is adorable.
He is cute. Yeah, those of you that ever followed Rachel, she was RachelD.com, saw him when he was an infant. So anyway, it made sense. And I called her and I was so ticked off. I was like, hi, Ketovore Debbie. I said to her, dag nabbit, Debbie. She goes, what? Because I didn't start the conversation with how's your day been. I'm like, dag nabbit. And she's like, what? I'm like, it makes sense. And she's like, what? I like that video you sent me, but it was probably, Cindy, it was probably 3 months. And when I dove in off of the deep end, and I literally started voraciously learning everything I could. And this, if you think 7 years ago, it was around and there were people on social media, but it wasn't saturated like it is today. And we went to our first keto conference. I don't even remember what it was, but we were in Florida somewhere. So my sister, Debbie, my daughter, Rachel, her husband, Justin, and my friend, Jenna Stewart. Hi, Jenna, if you're listening. We sat in this row and this scientist was up speaking. And he was talking like terms that I am like wishing I could do shorthand, because I'm like, click, click, click. They're sort of sitting there like blinking. And because it was a little deep for if you don't have a clinical background. And I leaned down the row and I looked at him afterwards. I said, I can never, ever eat processed foods again, because every single thing that this PhD said resonated and was logical based on my understanding of physiology and blood sugars, but no one had ever explained it to me that way. I had believed the hype. You need to keep your energy up, eat 6 small meals a day, and all I was doing was keeping my insulin up, because I wasn't eating a hamburger patty. I was having a bagel with cream cheese, and then I'd have a Danish, and then it was like,
right.
But you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know. You don't know. And so it has been 7 years now. I lost 60 pounds the first year, and then the other 34 over the next probably year and a half. Honey, you can't keep interrupting me. I can't.
Just one more thing.
Okay, is the house on fire?
No.
Okay, what's up?
Can I watch Lilo in the Loop?
You can watch that. Yes, you can. All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Bye.
So cute.
He is. He's a love. He really is. He's a
One
gentle
more
soul.
thing.
He's a gentle, loving soul. But do your kids do this to you, Sana, when you're on camera or on a phone call? They need you. So anyway, where was
Thankfully,
I?
so far, only once we've finished.
Yeah, like last week, he
Yeah.
came
Like
out
last
after the
week.
shower.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did a
good.
flip over the bed
Yeah.
behind her to get his clothes.
So thankfully, nobody saw any birthday suit
You
moments.
know, life is good. I'm fine with looking at body parts. It's what I do for a living. So the and a lot of people want to know, well, how fast did you lose it? And it's like, is there? And at first I was very concerned with that, and I was very pleased with how it was going. But what I've realized over time is it's not how fast do you lose it. Are you losing it? And can you keep it off? So I've been at a very stable weight, fluctuating between 5 to 8 pounds of my lowest. And why? Because life goes on. Life happens. I've had hernia surgery. I haven't been able to work out. I've realized how much muscle mass you can lose in a matter of a month and a half, and how many calories you burn with that. We're women. We have hormones. Thank goodness for that. But weight is just a reflection of your gravitational pull upon the scales. What's important is the composition. So I can like fluctuate 3-5 pounds. Just I'm like you know how it is, ladies. You know how it is. It's crazy stuff. My longest stall was 18 months, and that was when I hit 75 pounds. And if any of you have ever watched my historical videos, because I'm not on social media much anymore, for 18 months, I said, hi, I'm Cindy from Ask Nurse Cindy, and I've lost 75 pounds. I've lost 75 pounds. 5 months later, it was like, and I've lost 75 pounds, and I've lost 75 pounds. And what's interesting is it wasn't until COVID hit and I stopped the never-ending travel and jet lag and sleep in different time zones and having the majority of a week having to eat restaurant, hotel food, and getting sleep, getting consistent sleep. During COVID, I lost the next 20. Go figure, right? It's so much more than just what you eat. It's how it's prepared. It's the time that you eat. Food at that point was less important. At first, I was all about the fat bombs and the, all the recipes, like you were saying, Sana. And it has been extremely hard at first, less and less hard as you go forward, as long as you don't become complacent. And what I mean by that is thinking that this bite won't hurt, this little lick won't hurt, this yada, yada, yada won't hurt. I truly do view myself as an addict. And if you remember when I told you that I looked down the row and I said to my family and my friend Jana, I can never eat processed carbs again. There's something in addiction recovery, and it's called the single decision. And what that means is you make a single decision one time, thus the name, single decision.
Yep.
That you will never do X again. I'll never go into a casino again. Whatever it is that is your addiction, that you will never do that thing again. So when people say, well, what about Christmas, or what about your birthday, or what? And I did this video once where I was listing off all the holidays. So we can start with New Year's Day, Super Bowl, Valentine's, St. Patrick's Day, Easter. Then you go into the 4th of July, which is the best because it's all about grilling food, right? And then you have a little break, and then you get into but in between, you've got scattered birthdays and anniversaries and office parties and going away parties. And then it's Thanksgiving. Oh, wait, then it's Halloween, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving to Christmas can just be one big blowout, right? And then you start over again with New Year's Eve. So and I didn't even know about addiction recovery and the single decision at the time. I just knew I couldn't risk going back.
Yep. It's
And
like
it's been
it took me 23 months to lose the 100 pounds.
wow, Cindy.
When I started, it was just like you. She turned me on to Dr. Barry. I didn't know
Mhm.
anything about this Hallberg,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I started so strictly that it was
Yeah.
like that was it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
always stayed keto, and I still have stayed keto, not carnivore, mostly maybe ketovore. There are
I'm
things that I
an
enjoy.
inadvertent carnivore. Yeah, I don't mean to be. I just inadvertently many days I'm carnivore.
I mean, most of the time it is meat, but I do enjoy
Mhm.
other little things. Not so much vegetables, not very
Mhm.
often,
Mhm.
because they bother me. It's like that's the one thing I have found that nope,
The
Yeah.
fiber,
nope.
you get gassy or something. My big weakness right now is Brussels sprouts, roasted Brussels sprouts. I can totally ignore every other vegetable. Brussels sprouts.
Now I can saute them in butter with some bacon. Those
Yes,
are
ma'am.
good.
So they're good. They're like little bites of glory. But would I have
Mhm.
said that 7 years ago or 5 years ago? No. No. So your audience, I hope they understand that start with what you can. If you need the fat
Mhm.
bombs and the keto treats and the diet sodas and the whatever, because I still drink Diet Coke, don't
Yeah.
shun me. Because it is better than me having a donut. And when I
Absolutely.
want sweet, it is a
Mhm.
crutch. And I admit that it is. And my husband will look at me every now and then and he'll say, "You could never stop drinking those?" I'm not like drink Diet Coke voraciously. But even if I did,
Exactly. Yep.
There are
even if
worse
I
things you could do.
well,
Mhm.
yeah, being 240 pounds
Yeah.
and having to ask for a seatbelt extender. I fly a lot.
Yeah.
I used to I could never sit in a booth, Cindy, because I couldn't fit. I
Yeah.
had to
Exactly.
put a towel across my abdomen when I drove the car because the steering wheel rubbed
Yeah.
on my
I
clothing.
had the same issue. Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so
so Debbie said back here, your car videos are great.
my
And they
studios,
are. That's where Cindy usually goes live when she does, is in her car
I
on
used to do
on
it so
Facebook, and they're
yeah,
great. They're
yeah,
great.
yeah. Having Debbie when Debbie passed away, it just sucked a lot of the oomph out of me, especially at first. And I've tried a couple times to come back, but you know what? It's okay.
We love you.
Mhm.
I appreciate it. It's okay. I'm in a good safe place right now. I went into really, really severe depression. Cindy, I think I talked to you and Debbie about that at Ketapalooza, where I lost my mom. My dad moved in with us. I lost my sister
Mhm.
and COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I actually, for the first time in my life, became clinically depressed.
I've been
And
there for sure. I've
yeah,
been there.
and that's okay too to admit that. And it was okay for me to go
Absolutely.
for help and to get on medication to help.
Mhm.
My brain now the dog's being silly. Anyway, so I just encourage anyone that's listening to this that if going carnivore right away is too hard for you, or the BB&E or whatever it's called, triple B&E is too restrictive, don't do
Right.
it. Start
Yeah.
where you can. I started with all sorts. Oh, my net carbs. I took that net carb to 20 every day, and it was net. It wasn't total.
Total.
Right. Yeah.
And now I'm at the point. Somebody asked me the other day, I was doing something online, and someone asked me, "What'd you eat today?" And I went, "Oh, let me think about that."
Did
I,
you eat?
Well, I do because I started working with Keto Savage, a while back, a couple years ago, because I wanted to start doing strength training. I still got some guns, but I was under eating because I just wasn't hungry, and food had lost a lot of its appeal. So I do
Mhm.
try, and if you've ever listened to Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Lyon, might be an S at the end, Gabrielle Lyons, she talks about muscle-centric medicine, that we're not over fat, we're under muscled. And
Mhm.
she's double or triple board certified. And I really like the approach that, especially as women, especially as we age, especially if we're postmenopausal, that we must take care of our muscle mass. And the only way we can really build that, two main things: have enough protein and lift heavy things. The heavy things at first could be 2 gallons, 2 gallons of water, doing your bicep curls. It could be a stretchy band, which I traveled with mine until I saw my grandson wearing it like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing. I have no idea where it is now, but but start where you can. If it's Barry and I did a video once where he said, Cindy, everybody on this call can double their activity. I look at him, I'm like, yes. And inside I'm thinking, how? He said, if you get up out of bed in the morning, lay back down and then get up again. When you go to the bathroom and you stand back up, sit back down again, and it makes sense, those little activity things. So that's my journey. Start where you can. Make a single decision. There is no single holiday that you must give in to the external pressure or give yourself permission to engage in things that are harmful to you. And one of my favorite examples is if you knew that someone you were close to or you related to was part of a AA group and in a 12-step program, and it was the holidays, would you ever walk up to them and say, Aunt Mary made you this martini. It is her special recipe. If you don't drink it, you will offend her.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't do that with things that we view as addiction.
Right.
We don't see many people who are recovering alcoholics working in a bar, because when you are exposed to the temptation on an ongoing basis, it's more challenging. It's called decision fatigue. You get tired of making the decision to say no, and you're fatigued. So single decision, let your taste buds adapt over time. Don't be afraid to change things up. Don't give yourself permission to cheat, because you're cheating yourself.
Exactly.
You're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting anybody else.
But you know what? If I really am craving something, the old Cindy absolutely would have found a reason. I've had a rough day. Traffic was bad. They didn't take, my opinion seriously at work or whatever.
Yeah.
And I still have to fight it today. I woke up a couple of months ago. This is funny, but not funny. I dreamt such a vivid dream that I had gone through the Krispy Kreme drive-thru, bought a dozen donuts and ate 10 of them before I went home.
Dang. Were they good?
In the dream, they were amazing. I woke up so full of guilt. And I'm laying there thinking, what happened yesterday that made you do that? It was so vivid. And the pillow was still there, so I hadn't eaten the pillow. And it was a slow realization that it was a dream. The relief I felt, but it really, if we self-examine that, those subliminal driving chemical things in our body and our responses to stress or emotion will always be there. And when you are not on guard, it can. I'm in a house now that they eat very, very healthy. It's a gluten-free house. They're mostly carnivore, but for the little one, they'll have certain organic things, like, I don't know what they are, but they're in packages and they're in cellophane, and there's not much cellophane in my house these days. And I was making him a snack and some lunch the other day, and I picked up this chip and it just went in my mouth. And one chew and I froze, and I'm like walking over to the trash, going, what the heck are you doing? I'm not exposed to decision fatigue at home.
Right.
I can't imagine the challenges that people face. My husband, who was totally against my eating plan 7 years ago, was like, you're going to do what? And he's a cowboy. He's a Polish cowboy, and there are not very many of them out there. And he's like, that's fine. You eat what you want, but I got to tell you something. There's never going to be bacon in this house. I'm like, I travel a lot. I thought I picked my battles wisely in this marriage, right? And I'm like, I thought about it. I thought about what he said. I thought, is this worth engaging over? And I thought, no, you're leaving again tomorrow. And I thought, I'll just have as much bacon as I want on the road. And I said, okay, honey. He's like, yeah.
And how's he eating now?
Oh, he's Mr. Should you be having that Diet Coke?
So now he's eating the bacon too.
So it was a slow progression. It was like, at first he was like, he'd always seen me start something with enthusiasm.
Mhm.
And then a couple weeks later it was gone and I was justifying things. He saw me not only keep my engagement, but increase my excitement and sharing with him things I'd studied or read about or watched. And so after a couple of months, he leans back in the chair in the kitchen. He goes, I guess we could have some bacon in this house, but it has to be nitrate free. And he's not stupid. He just has that twang. He's a very smart man. But it has to be nitrate free. And I'm like, okay. So bought the nitrate free bacon, but I had to fry it myself. And I would take a little cup of bacon on the plate, covered in a cup or a little tub of it. And once we were at altitude, I'd open that puppy up and I'd start eating it. And that smell would go throughout the airplane. And people would sort of
You
come
had
up
everybody
like,
wanting bacon.
they're sniffing, they're looking around. I'd wave at them, with my bacon in my hand. But anyway, one day I was going to be late to take off. I had to leave for the airport and I hadn't showered and all that stuff, last minute packing. And he goes, well, honey, do you want me to fry that bacon for you? I'm like, would you do that for me? He goes, yeah. So he fried up a whole bunch of bacon and put it on the, to drain it. And I said, okay, I'm going to get in the shower now. He goes, that bacon looks mighty good. I'm like, have some. Enjoy. He goes, all right. I come back out.
Oh my gosh.
2 pieces.
Oh no. He enjoyed it too much.
I looked at that almost empty paper towel where the bacon had been. And I looked at him. I said, really, Terrence? Really? He goes, it's really tasty. Is that keto?
Absolutely.
Anyway, so
we have a question for you.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just having fun with my friends. Yes.
Is there ever a thing such as too much lean muscle? I've lost 170 pounds while gaining 5-pound lean muscle mass. Not sure if I should just focus on maintaining or trying to gain more as I'm now 40 plus. There you go.
All right. So it is impossible. It's an excellent question and one that I had even as a nurse early on, because we've been told multiple reps, low, you don't want to bulk up. You just want to have, what do they call it? You just want to be not lean, but something they say. Women we do not have enough testosterone to build the muscles that men do. The only women that you see typically that have the really bulked up bodies are using some sort of supplement. I'm not saying they're doing illegal supplements, but they're doing a lot of carnitine or they're doing a lot of really, really heavy reps. But if they start getting the square jaw and stuff, just watch out. So it will be impossible for you to overdo it on the lean muscle. And congrats on your 170 pounds. I'm very, very proud of you.
That's fantastic. I got to meet him at a local meetup this is the Charlie. Charlie, you're not a woman, yes.
But Charlie, you got testosterone, right? You've got more than I have, but it will start to diminish as I age as a woman and as you age as a man. What's interesting about muscle is that once we hit 40, 42-ish, depending on what you look at, if we do not actively seek to add it, we'll actually lose. You have to work like you're going to be adding muscle in order to not lose it. If you've ever hugged someone in their 80s, typically they're very frail. They're very frail. And that is called sarcopenia as a medical terminology for loss of muscle mass. And muscles do many things. They're highly metabolic. Next to our brain, they're highly metabolic. They release their own hormones that help stimulate a high metabolic rate. So it's a furnace that helps you burn more calories. You do not need insulin. If you've got some good muscle there, it's going to, like a straw, suck the glucose out of your bloodstream in the absence of insulin. So that helps your insulin needs be low. And if you've got hyperinsulinemia, it really helps that. So the more muscle you have, the higher your calorie rate is, even when you're sleeping. The more you're going to be able to react if you trip and reduce your chance of a fall and breaking your hip and all that stuff. It increases your bone density. It helps in many other ways that this gal, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, will talk about if you start to follow some of her podcasts. She calls it muscle-centric medicine. I love lifting heavy things now. I love, because you know why? It's objective. If I could lift 5 pounds 2 months ago and I can lift 20 and increase my reps and have like a little bicep thing going on here. Do you know what this means to me? It means safety as I age.
Mm-hmm.
It means that I'm going to have the ability to react if I trip or fall. I'm going to have that pull and strain on my muscles that increase. I had my bone density checked about 2 months ago for part of a physical. The guy's like, "You're like in the 25-year-old range." Like, yeah, that's right.
That's awesome.
I'm like, so Charlie, you're not going to overdo it. I think the more muscle you can add, and it doesn't.
Oops.
Did she freeze for you too?
She did.
Okay. If you can hear us, Nurse Cindy, you froze.
You want to try to go out and come back in if you can hear us, because you're totally frozen. Anyhow, if anybody else has any questions for Cindy, I'm sure she's going to come back or unfreeze here in a minute.
If she can hear us, hopefully
Yes.
you can hear us, Nurse
I'm back.
Cindy. Oh, there she is.
Yay!
I'd forgotten that when I took my grandson out and had to use my personal hotspot on my phone. I didn't realize when I walked back in their house, it'd still stay on my cell phone. Anyway, so muscle is your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Muscle's your friend.
Good.
That was a
Especially
great
when-
question.
Susie,
Yes.
we had her on last week. Was it last week?
Yes.
Hey,
Last
Susie.
Friday.
She's here.
Well,
Yeah,
what
Susie
questions
has
do
an
people have?
amazing
Well,
journey.
ask me anything. I may not answer it, but if it's really personal, yeah, happy to.
So your expertise now,
Mhm.
aside from keto, is you're a wound care nurse, correct?
I
A
am.
teaching nurse,
I am.
traveling
the world.
everywhere.
I work for 3M. I am a my title, Global Lead Clinical Intelligence. Makes me sound very smart.
Yeah.
I do things. I used to travel globally. I don't anymore. Mostly for COVID, and then I choose not to. They asked me if I wanted to go back to Japan to do something. I was caught in the earthquake over there, and I have no desire to ever go back to Japan. It was very traumatic.
No.
But anyway, I can be teaching people in Australia or Japan and teaching to me is a way. It's like what I love about when I was really active on Ask Nurse Cindy or doing this tonight. If I can help take something fairly complex and help it be understandable for those that are not clinical or maybe stuck or not feeling like I'm never going to make it. You can. Oh my God, I'm going to be 67. I was 59 years obese. 59. Never knew normal weight. Never had a normal BMI.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
I don't remember me having a normal one either.
Yeah,
And
I just
I'll be
love.
66 in May.
Look at us. Look at us. Yeah, I took my grandson to the Children's Museum yesterday. Forgot my ring at home, right? Because I was decided I'd clean it so it was sparkly when I got here. I had a guy that had to have been 45 hitting on me.
Nurse Cindy.
Not uncomfortably. Not uncomfortably.
Right.
I still wanted to look at him and say, "Sweetie, I bet I could be your mom."
Oh my gosh.
That never happened. So it's fascinating. Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
another question for you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of resistance training? Free weights, kettlebells, etc.
All of it. I love kettlebells. I've got some at home, and I love like if I'm in a meeting and I don't have to be on camera, I keep dumbbells and I keep the kettlebell and I keep this little stepper thing that I got at Goodwill for $8. It's actually pretty nice. It doesn't have the handles, just something I can stand and do steps on and change the resistance. I'll sit there and I'll be doing bicep curls with those, or I'll do 20 kettlebell swings. I love the idea that anything I do is either preserving or helping to add to my muscle mass and my longevity and health, because it isn't about lifespan, it's about health span.
Right.
I don't want to be 72 and in a nursing home because I broke a hip and I can't walk anymore, if I can control that. So I'll do anything, like I'll do like a tricep dip off of a chair. But I will tell you, the faster you do it, the less benefit. So go down really, bye. See you guys later. Go down really, really slow. And come up really slow. One thing you can do is, most of us are probably sitting. Don't do this if you're driving, but just simply lift your thigh off your chair and hold it in the air. Just lift it, keep it up in the air. And right now, mine is starting to go blah, 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 blah. Can you feel that burn in the top of your thigh?
That means it's working.
Yeah. And if you didn't do it, you got to do it. I won't see it if you do. But there, standing in the grocery store in line, I hold on to the thing and I'll do calf raises, toe lifts. I'll lift my heels off, heel lifts.
Okay, right.
And then I'll do both, and then I'll do one leg and then I'll do the other, and do it really slow up and really slow down. Steering wheel, press together, pull apart on the steering wheel. Please be stopped when you do that. I don't want you doing that while you're driving. There's so many things we can do. It is easy to lose muscle, Deb. So if I was looking at my arms the other day, because I got wiggle stuff I haven't had because of my, I haven't gone back after surgery. I was at our national sales meeting into January, and just that, it was at a Gaylord. If you've ever stayed at a Gaylord, it's this massive complex, and the conference rooms are way down there and the hotel rooms. So I had a lot of steps. And even that, where they put the mesh in where they repaired the hernia, it was just aching. And I was a good 6 weeks out there, but you can lose it very quickly. If you've ever had a cast on a limb, no, you have not had a cast on your limb. And they take it off, you'll see that it's shrunken. Just a little bit of lack of activity. That's the dog. Bless his heart. He's one of those golden doodles or something like that.
Yeah, it's cute.
Anyway, so good.
She said she loves your philosophy on longevity. It's one of the reasons I weight train too. I'm already so short. I don't want to be frail too.
Yes. The only good thing about being short is that we have less distance to fall.
I was just going to say that, because we're about the same height. I'm a little over, just under 5'4". So we're
well, I certainly agree, because I'm right at 5 foot even. So I certainly agree with that.
Here's the funniest thing. I've never had any self-awareness about my height. And when there's a group photo taken, I'm so surprised every time how short I am. I'll look at other people in the picture. I'm like, are they really taller than me?
Cindy, I have one picture of me with my sons. And they're both 6 foot, and they're both big boys. They're both well over 300 pounds. I look like I stand in between them. I look like they swallowed me whole. It's like,
it's amazing.
Here's them. Here's me. It's like, well, hello.
Yeah. I looked at my daughter Rachel in a photo just recently, and I looked at her. I said, "You're not taller than me." She goes, "Mom, come on."
Yeah.
My joke used to be, when I was a lot heavier, that I'm not overweight, I'm under tall. If my BMI was, if I was 6'4", my BMI would have been great. I don't believe the BMI. If you have a lot of muscle mass, your BMI will be out of whack. It's all
I
about,
went through
He's
the
telling
same
me I'm
thoughts as
short.
well. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I
You know,
love all the questions and all the information coming through about the physical aspect of things.
yeah.
Because just like you said, yeah, we do the food the way that it's best for us. As
Mhm.
long as we try to keep it, as proper human diet as we can.
Mm-hmm.
But, it is a lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
all these things you're mentioning, like especially with the shopping cart and, even like my big thing early on, because just like Cindy DeManch, I did not do any form of exercise that first 15 months of keto, but still kept everything strict like she
Oh, yeah.
did.
Oh, yeah.
15 months, very similar like her, I
Mhm.
lost 101 pounds in that first 15 months.
And that was the most important thing for you to do at that time, and
Exactly.
for me
Was
to
to
do.
focus on the food. Exactly. Because
Well,
And
I
then,
once I
decided,
had that mentality about the food, I felt unstoppable.
mhm,
yeah,
yep.
it's like
Unstoppable.
I've said, I sat on my butt and lost 100 pounds,
Exactly.
but I
Yes.
needed to do that so that I was in
Right.
better shape to go and
Yep.
exercise
No,
because I
it's
wasn't
For
in any
sure.
shape to do
no,
so.
I was not ready at all. I was probably 2
Mhm.
years in before I really started
Yeah.
doing any sort of what I would
Mhm.
even remotely call it physical exercise. So, Charlie has a question. How do I approach celebrating special holidays with others? I don't want to be trite.
Mhm.
I don't, because it is always a decision, always. But I made a single
Mhm.
decision, and I stand by it. So what I do is on those occasions, I'll pull out the keto recipes, and I have some I have some amazing ones I've collected over the years. I don't do well with Pinterest; I get lost in it. So when I find a recipe online and I make it, and I like it, I print it out. And I have
Yeah.
three ring binders. One is for bread
Yes.
type things, one is for main dishes, and one is for desserts.
I'm telling
And
you, we are the same person. I have 4 binders
Yeah, I have the binders
like
too,
that. I
funny
print
enough.
up so many
Yeah.
recipes.
I get triggered if I keep
Yeah.
scrolling through the recipes. You'll never see
Mhm.
me with a recipe channel. God bless those that do. I love All Day I Dream About Food. I love
Mhm.
low carb. All Day I Dream About Food's my favorite. And then there's several others. I can't think of them right
Yeah,
now.
low carb
But they're,
I
life.
say,
yeah. Oh,
go
and if you
along with
haven't
Charlie's.
If you have
Go
not seen Charlie Cooks Nashville, or what's it? No, what's it called?
Chris Cooking
Chris Cook
Nashville.
Nashville. Yes. We're
That
gonna be having him
man,
on. Yep.
Yep. He's going to be
incredible.
on here with us on March
Yep.
29th.
Oh, please
He
remind me.
is
Please
Yes.
remind
another one
me.
He's
of those
amazing.
creative geniuses in the
I
He
made his
is.
kitchen.
mashed potatoes. They were so good. It was crazy.
It's
I've
just
made
amazing.
his carnivore pizza with the Alfredo sauce. I
It's
tried
amazing.
his carnivore tortillas the other day.
I haven't tried many
That
of
was a
his.
fail. That was a
Yeah,
fail
was it
for
a
me.
fail?
But
Was it a
oh my
technique
goodness,
fail, or does?
probably a technique fail because he is so good at what he
Oh,
does.
oh,
It's
Mhm.
just
oh!
amazing.
He's redefined that. I really,
Yeah.
He's amazing. He
yeah,
really is.
yeah. So
Now going along
so
with Charlie's
back to the holidays thing.
question, yeah,
Yeah,
with the
back to the
holidays.
holidays things. I'll remind myself that I will not go off plan. I really do. I
Mhm.
remind myself, and I'll look at my
Mhm.
husband and I'll say, please just watch out. And if you
Right.
see me even remotely trending towards, or, doing
Mhm.
there's one carb per finger, right? One carb per
Yeah.
fingerful. Um, and I take something that I know I enjoy,
Yes.
and the family knows that I'm very committed over time. It
Right.
wasn't that way at first. And because I will not go off plan, and I'm allergic to onions, they'll check with me and they'll say, okay, here's what we're going to have. What would you like to bring? Or will this bother you? Just like if somebody was alcoholic, they're so sweet. They're like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
will this bother you if this is there? And right now, after 7 years, it's no,
Right.
because I'm scared. I'm scared if I go
Mhm.
off plan, I will never recover.
Right.
Many
Yeah.
people that I knew early on in keto that had decent sized followings
Mhm.
thought, I've been doing this for a while. I've done great. I'm just going to have,
Right.
Just gonna go
and
back.
they
You
disappear.
see.
Yeah. I
Now
wonder if people
Mhm.
think I've gone off track because I'm not on. I didn't show
No.
my face every now and then, and
Well, you are now, so
there we
there's
go.
that.
There we go.
That's
So
right.
I asked for support from my family,
Mhm.
my husband, and the families and close friends that we do things with are aware, and so they don't. Cindy, you should have a bite. They did it first.
Mm.
They did it first. I'm like, that's so kind of you to offer, but it just makes me feel I just don't
Right.
do well with sweets. I
Yeah.
don't preach keto to anybody.
Mhm.
Before COVID, I would sit down with my tray in the corporate cafeteria when I was in town, and the people I would join would start to immediately justify their food choices. Let me
Yep.
explain. This is some, and I'm like, I am not your mother, and I'm
Yes, right.
not the keto police. I do me, you do you. Life's good.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly. Yeah.
real quick about Charlie's question.
Oh,
I had gone to my sister's house 2 Thanksgivings in a row. Well, hers or her daughter's. And the first time we went, Brian and I were invited. I made one of All Day I Dream About Foods desserts. And I made something else, a side dish for us. Because Brian and I are keto. Her daughter wasn't at the time.
mhm.
She is now. The one you met with us at KetoCon, Cindy.
Yes,
Penny.
yes. Yep.
They all loved it. This dessert, they asked me to make it the next year.
Did you
They
even get?
loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yes. Right,
Yeah.
And
because
it's just incredible that,
yeah,
but they won't pay
Mm-mm.
attention to everything else,
right.
Yes.
but
Yeah.
they'll try everything and they
Right.
like everything.
Mhm.
I'm like, so what's the problem here?
Exactly.
And
It's
I
like,
think there's very, very, very few things I've not been able to replicate if I
mm,
have a craving for it.
Right.
I made last year for Thanksgiving, I made this, allulose was just coming out in the market, and I found a recipe for a pecan pie using allulose, which really
Oh,
thickens
right,
and
right, right, right.
caramelizes.
Mhm.
And so my son-in-law, wonderful man, eats very healthy. The whole family raised their 4 boys with just extremely good eating habits. And I say, would you like some of this pecan pie? He goes, oh, things like that are too sweet for me. And I'm like, oh, this is keto. He goes, I'll have a little slice. And he's not against keto. He just,
Right, right.
so he cut a little tiny slice and he takes a bite. And when you sort of roll it around in your mouth and
Uh-huh.
you're examining it, he looks at me with this voice. He goes, what is this black magic?
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because we have like Thanksgiving every once in a while with friends,
Mhm.
and it's like a potluck style. They have,
Mhm.
how many foldable tables they
Yeah.
put, connected together, and it's like a smorgasbord of like
Yeah.
everybody's food. And we bring stuff that is very keto.
Yes.
We don't even present it as keto.
No.
They figure it is because they know, the way
Mhm.
of eating we do.
Mhm.
But they devour. There
Yeah.
is like no
Oh, yeah.
leftovers. I am taking home. Everything is devoured because when we really think about it, it's real food.
Yeah, it's real
It
food.
is real food.
Yep.
But then the way they're tasting it, just like you're saying with your story, it's so eye-opening because when they do taste it,
It's fatty.
they
It's flavorful.
oh
Yes.
yes. It's like their like endorphins are like going buck wild because they're like,
Yes.
what did you put in this? Like,
What
this is so
What
amazing.
is
And you're
this
thinking to
black
yourself,
magic?
it's simple ingredients. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'll email you the
Yeah.
recipe. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've become famous within the family circle for making the green bean casserole, the classic green bean casserole with the
yes.
onion stuff on top.
Right.
I don't eat it because of the onion stuff on top,
Right.
but I make homemade mushroom soup versus the canned, and use the frozen green beans and all that stuff, and that delicious fatty homemade fresh mushroom glorious mix, and then bake it and stuff. They're like,
Yeah.
what type of soup are you using? I'm like, I make it at home. They're
Yeah.
like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna put my weekly plug in for Keto Chow. Did you see they came
Oh.
out with cream of mushroom soup
Cream
base?
mushroom,
I
yeah.
have them at home, and I would have brought them. There's the cream of potato and cream of mushroom.
Yeah,
I would
baked
have
potato.
brought
Yeah.
them with me, except Rachel has to be gluten-free in her house. And I did not see that it said gluten-free on that. Many of them do,
Oh,
but I did not
yes.
see that. So so that has to wait till I get home. And
Right.
oh baby, have you tried their salty electrolyte drinks?
I have
new-
them.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am. I am an affiliate with Keto Chow now.
Well, what's your affiliate link? I am too, but I've
It's
never known it. I
it's
have
in
no-
all of my videos.
It's in all of
In the
her videos.
description.
Oh my
In the
gosh, they are the
description.
best. I love them.
I
You
do
know,
too.
when Debbie
They're
had
going to
her-
be on too.
when
May 10th.
you have to like
Remind.
Reminders.
My brain.
Reminders, she said.
I'll
Cindy
be
Mance,
sending you reminders.
reminders.
All right, we have
My
another question for you.
Okay.
What basic weight-bearing exercises would you recommend if you need to work out at home instead of the gym?
Okay.
Mm.
So you can there's some really great YouTube channels out there that have workout at home videos. There's a couple. So there's this thing called the wall sit. And that's where you back up against a wall, put your feet out in front of you. Don't put them way far out at first. And you slide your back down the wall to a point that you're comfortable at first. It may not be that deep. And you hold that position. Now, it's probably good if you're against a corner where you can push yourself up. At first, that's what I had to do, because if otherwise just sit down and don't fall down, but sit down, because your muscles are really your thigh muscles and your glutes will start to really burn. It's called a wall sit. What I just showed you about lifting your thigh off of the leg, wall push-ups. A wall push-up is you're not on the floor. You put your feet close to the wall at first. Make sure you keep your elbows tucked in, and you do push-ups. It's not hard because you're not supporting your whole weight. As you become, and watch some of these videos, and as you become more comfortable with your arms being able to support that, as you step back further and further, your dip is lower, and that's going to load more force on your arms. Honestly, calisthenics, let me turn this down so you can see a little bit. Push together, really. If those of you that aren't driving or have a hot pot in your hand, push your arms together. I don't know if you guys remember, the Air Force used to do all these calisthenics. Push your palms together, right? That really hard. You're going to feel that all the way up your arms and into your pecs. Okay. Now pull, and you're going to feel it across your back. So just doing that during a meeting or while you're waiting for whatever it is you're doing, I don't know what, hey, it only do 2 or 3. You don't have to do 10 sets of 28 each. Do what you can. Progress over perfection. So wall sits, wall push-ups, lifting your thigh up, the calisthenics where you're pushing and pulling. If you can buy some inexpensive weights, they're usually about $1 a pound if you go to Target or Walmart. So go to Goodwill. Go back, or Play It Again Sports, and go back to the where they got their sporting equipment. You'll find some really decent, and 8 pounds is probably, don't do the 2 pound. Well, you can do 2 pounds if that's enough for you for right now. But when you do like a bicep curl, so if this pin was, it's a small weight, but if this pin was, and I want it, what you want to do is you don't want to push it up like that. You want to very, very slowly, and have some good videos as Coach Bronson. If you follow him, or if you've, so just very, and tighten this, and then, so there's all sorts of stuff I've learned there's even a chair exercises. So if you really cannot support your weight for whatever medical reason, there's chair yoga. There's chair size where they've got like disco songs. I sent them to my dad, and there's these wonderful things that you can do. Just lifting yourself out and going back down slowly. Hope that helps.
Just making sure your chair's not on rollers.
Yes, please. And
Yes.
I do what I call Papa squats, and I started this when I was in the bathroom in the plane, and it's tight quarters, right? And so back then I hadn't really lost much weight, and so I would hold on to the sink and sort of pull myself up. And it was right after Dr. Barry had said you double your, so I sat back down and I stood up, and I thought, okay, how many times as an aging woman do I go to the bathroom? A lot. So I have TB, I have tiny bladder, right? So I started saying to myself, well, do 5 squats every time you go to the bathroom. And I don't do it every single time, but I'll probably get in well over 100 squats a day now.
Wow.
It doesn't take long to do
Yeah.
10 squats. And so what's nice about being in the bathroom, especially if there's a safety rail or a sink,
Mhm.
is you can hold on to it for balance as you go down. And if you can't go all the way down right now, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I couldn't at first. Yeah. It's
Yep.
it's fun. It's fun to challenge
Yeah.
yourself.
It is.
Yep.
Just going through some of these comments. Charlie says, I find the concept of carb addiction empowering, helps disentangle weight gain as a moral failing, and
Yes.
gives hope that with different information, you
Yes.
can achieve different results.
I don't know if any of you, amen, Charlie, amen.
Yeah.
Because there are scientists, they are
Mhm.
food chemists that are working for big food.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
related to big pharma. And what they do, there's this thing, and you Google it, it's called the bliss point. The BLISS, like, oh, that was blissful. That was so good. And they get these focus groups in when they're making Doritos or Doritos Ranch, or I call them Dirty Toes, not Doritos. They're Dirty Toes. I think that's pretty funny. But anyway, and they work on the chemical additives and flavorings and the amount of salt and the amount of fat to the point that it is so good, I bet you can't eat just one. It's called the bliss point. And they do that with savory and they do that with sweet, and then they combine the two. And it is intentional
Yeah.
and it is focused on increasing consumption.
Mhm.
Just like when you see an advertisement for alcohol where they're sitting around in the bar, they're all young, they're all beautiful, and they're all healthy.
Yeah.
Because youth and beauty sells. And you don't see people that are your classic couch. No one ever called me at 305 pounds to be in an ad for Twinkies.
Right.
Me neither.
I'm
And I
funny.
used to
No,
love those.
it's so true because, all of that is to really play on our mentality.
Yeah.
Is really what it is,
Yeah,
because
there's
it's
a
very much mental, very much mental. Like just like you said, because I myself had gone through clinical depression, I
Yeah.
can't go off plan either. So I'm very much the same. A lot of people think I'm like the unicorn of the community because I can't, but I can't afford, just like you said, I can't afford for myself, I can't afford to go off a plan.
And I can't even imagine what my blood sugar would do if I ate a donut. I'd probably be so physically sick.
Oh yeah.
It's just not worth it. It's not restriction, it's freedom.
Mhm.
I don't want
I
to
had mentioned Nasini Demanch for the glucose intolerance test that pregnant women have to go through. She was mind blown because I told her it is 50 grams and I refused it.
Yeah.
I refused it. And
I'm going to have to write this in your chart.
I flat out,
Okay.
I told them that if I should need to go to a different OB, tell me now. Tell me now, because that is what I will have to do.
Yep. My dog's crying. Well, their dog's crying, so I might have a mess to clean up in a minute.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
How long do you usually run, Cindy?
As long as you have.
Probably a few more minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
We have that we don't
Only
have any more
because I
questions
have
that
no
I've
idea what
seen.
the 6-year-old. I have no idea what the 6-year-old and the dog are doing. And there's no other adult in this house. Go ahead.
Oh, that's not good.
And I'm questionable.
No, you're great. You're absolutely great. So just going on in the chat, Sherry says that you are, let me find it again, so loved by this community.
Thank you.
Yes. And everybody agrees. Everybody.
Thank you.
I haven't talked to anyone and mentioned your name that didn't have something good to say about you.
Thank you.
Dustin says, well, the hardest things to understand or really come to terms with the fact that the bliss point, while it drives consumption, It
Mhm.
really only lasts a few bites, even though you keep going.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
But that need to keep that
Mhm.
experience going, and it's drives, and then you
Yeah.
get that, that dopamine release, and then when you stop eating it and you
Yeah.
start coming down off of the high both blood sugar and dopamine,
Right.
you're like, I need to eat again.
Exactly.
You need to
Yep.
eat again. Not I want to. You might think you
Yeah.
want to, but literally your body is telling you you need
Mhm.
to eat again. Versus
Well, that's
somebody asks,
because
what did you eat today? And I'm like, hmm.
when you're eating carbs, you crave more carbs.
You do.
Carbs crave
Mhm.
carbs.
It is
Yeah.
It's a
the
vicious
people
cycle.
the people that used to
Yes.
do all the advertising and stuff for cigarettes
Mhm.
now own. Oh, Noah, let the dog out, please. Noah, hold on. I got a dog. They've got this little thing of jingle bells, and when he hits it, it means I've got to go out. Not the
That's
boy, the
nice.
dog.
Yeah.
Noah, let the dog out. Who let the dogs out? Noah. Noah. Okay, sorry. Back to what we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Oh, you're funny.
Oh,
Carbs.
so they took the same
Carbs.
strategy. They took the same strategy. This is documented that they used with cigarettes, because it used to be that kids. I could go up to the corner store. My dad used to be four packs a day. He's still alive and well at 91. And I could go to the cigarette machine and buy him cigarettes because it
Right,
was
right,
fine.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
kids used
yeah.
to in the 40s.
Yep, the little pulley.
Prohibition,
Uh-huh.
yeah, they used to go up and be able to buy gin for
Yeah.
their or beer. We advertise to kids things that are addictive. There's such a high
Mhm.
preponderance of youthful obesity now
Right.
and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease that there are fewer and fewer adults who can
Mhm.
donate their liver or a portion of their liver to someone that needs a liver transplant because it's so close to being cirrhotic, not because they're a drinker, because
Mhm.
fructose is metabolized in the liver and the liver becomes overwhelmed. And when the body can't absorb it anymore and take it in, the liver says, that's all right. I'll keep it here. I'll keep it here. I'll keep it here.
Right, right, right.
And then collagen starts to lay down, scar tissue starts to lay down. And voila, you start ending up with all these cascading things that lead to cirrhosis. And it's one of the things, if you're going to have bariatric surgery, they want you to fast for 48 hours because just those 48 hours without food, your liver is going to start releasing that stored glycogen, and the size of the liver will shrink enough that their scopes that they go in to do
Right.
that. It's amazing how the liver can recover up to a point.
Yeah.
Mm.
Before I had my gastric bypass in 2007, I had to lose like 5% of my body weight because
Before
they
they can do
said
the
the
surgery.
first place you lose the fat is around your liver.
Mm.
So yeah, that
And
was
Yeah.
their explanation there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Any other questions or?
I think it's the parents that
Yeah.
feel bad if they aren't giving into what the kids want because their friends don't want them to feel
Well-
left out. Son and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
Yes. And Dustin had me on because thankfully, like, our kids are homeschooled, so they don't really have, like the school parties and this and that, to kind of feel like a trigger. But I still yet get it. I still yet get like, oh, don't your kids feel deprived? Like, I'm sure they're seeing like commercials and this and that. And no, because like I had shared, so many know in the chat about my oldest son's story, but we turned to keto because he was having seizures. He was having anywhere from 2 to 3 seizures a week. So when a child goes through something like that and he knows that he's not dealing with that any longer,
Yeah.
in time he understands. Like, is it
Yes.
difficult in the beginning? Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. You are taking away
Mhm.
all these foods that not only taste amazing to kids,
Mhm.
but we as adults, we were addicted to ourselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because especially sugar.
It
Sugar is,
gives
oh
us
my
an excuse to
goodness.
have it in the house. It gives us an excuse to have it in the house.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were
Exactly.
at Chick-fil-A the other day. I was getting Noah, he loves to go there and play, and I had to work,
Yeah.
and so I could sit at the table and have internet. And the lady said to him, "Do you want ice cream either a cone or a cup of ice cream or a toy. And he goes, "Oh, ice cream's too cold and too sweet. I want the toy." And that's because
Awesome.
it's so unusual for him to have something that's super concentrated. And they let him have, and he's not epileptic, but they let him have treats at a party, or he's homeschooled as well. But it's so odd to him and so sweet that most of the time he'll have a bite or two and then go and push it away. So today we went to the pool. I was working poolside, and I had a bag of my Duke sausages, and me are the bomb when I travel. And that boy not only ate the entire, he and his friends that he just met consumed a whole bag of Dukes.
You see?
And it's the big bag, not the little bitty bag, the big bag. Good for you, kiddo. Have some protein. I hugged him when I got here, and I was like, "Oh no, you're getting so tall." He goes, "I am eating my protein. I'm eating my protein."
Right. But it's amazing. Even, what you're sharing, like, that he chose the toy. Kids are so much more adaptable than we give them credit for.
Watch the Magic Pill. The Magic Pill.
Yeah.
That if you've not seen that movie, I think you can get it on YouTube or Netflix. This little girl that was so non-communicative, autistic. She went 5 entire days without eating a thing because they wouldn't let her have the goldfish and the whatever it was.
Right.
And she finally was willing to eat the salmon, and they were under medical supervision, all that. The change. So our brain, epilepsy, ADHD, you name it, there's so many things. And if Dr. Chris Palmer has really studied the brain and what we've done to it, because while we look at carbs, and I really am going to have to go, but while we look at carbs and all the things all the names, 93 plus names for sugar that they disguise, do you know what's not regulated are the flavorings and the additives? They're with the FDA, they're GRAS, GRAS, generally recognized as safe. We have no idea what that's doing to our neurons. We have no idea what those 28 things that are listed there, those chemicals that we're putting into our body, are doing to us. Many of the things that are allowed here in the US are banned in Europe.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So I just encourage people, if it's not in cellophane, if it's just like laying there, cellophane if you're meat, or if it's a vegetable or a fruit, please not a mango or a pineapple. But many of those will not trigger if it's got 28 things, be aware, that's probably not going to generate health. It's probably not. So good. Yay. Yay.
Thank you so much, Cindy.
I shudder to think what the rest of the house looks like, but that's okay. Parents are not home till tomorrow. I wouldn't have traded this for anything. I'm so glad you invited me.
Oh my gosh.
Thankful
we
for you being
feel
here.
so blessed and just so grateful. We were so excited and we were so overjoyed.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're getting some real stars coming on in the future. I can't wait. Chris.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yes. 2KK's coming on March 1st.
And because we mentioned Keto Chow,
I can't get Dr. Barry and Nisha. You'll have to work on them for me, Cindy.
Bless their hearts. They're so busy.
I know.
And I'm so happy they've gotten some help and they're shaping a more high quality life for their children and themselves. I'm just delighted for them. They have worked so hard.
Exactly.
With so little assistance. Yeah,
it's so heartfelt to see how far they've come. Even me being someone that has been following them for over 6 years, it's just amazing to see how far they've come. And for anyone that saw Dr. Bear's announcement, he is so close to 3 million subscribers. And for me, I was just shocked that he's not over 3 million and that he's not on the verge of going to 4 million.
And what's going to be so exciting is to see how he continues to peel back the onion of
Yes.
complexity of the choices we make, not just
Mhm.
about food, but about
Right.
sleep and about exposure to different things. As he continues to peel that back, if you can imagine, even if
Mhm.
half of those people see a third of his videos,
Right. Right.
Yep.
it's what when
Mhm.
I went from being an ICU nurse to working for a corporation and being able to educate, so I could take care of 1 or 2 patients at a
Mhm.
time. That's all you could handle in ICU.
Right.
Some of them were one-on-ones, and sometimes they
Mhm.
weren't so sick and you could have 2. I could really impact their health for that
Right.
12-hour shift.
Yeah.
And I
Right.
switched over to education, and I could do a dinner for 40 surgeons.
Mhm.
And I could educate them about a concept or a product or a way to think through traumatic injuries or you name it. Then I have impacted potentially hundreds or thousands of patients for a long time. And that's what the berries are doing. And folks like
Mhm.
Chris Cook's Keto and my 2 crazy keto buds. Ask them how I
Yes.
help them, you know. Um, what a great
Yeah.
community. What a great community.
And we're grateful to you for that as well, because
Yes.
Rachel and Joe, they didn't give up because of you.
No. Oh,
Because of those gems that you filled in their hearts.
yeah, I love them.
We have definitely you to thank. You know, they definitely put a lot of work into their channel,
Oh,
but
yes.
still yet,
Yeah.
definitely you have a huge part in
Thank
them wanting
you.
to keep going the way
That's
that
actually
they
very
did.
humbling and makes me scared because it's just well, it's weird, right? What social media can do. So I'm so proud of you guys for
Exactly.
doing this every Friday, and I look forward to seeing it
Mhm.
continue to grow and you reach more people. Because when we share a video
Right.
in perpetuity, and I love trying to say
Yeah.
that word once a day, in perpetuity, um, that will be out there for people that can tap into it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Except
Because the
I'd like to take down the video of me
Right.
getting right out of the dentist office when I had to. Don't
Please
look it up.
don't.
Do
You
not
gotta
look
keep
it up.
on.
Please
And
don't.
I started talking. I'm like, do I sound as bad as I think I do?
Please
That
don't.
was
Because
that
then
was
now
a
everyone's
great
gonna be on the
video.
hunt for it.
No.
Cindy, that was a great video. That just
Yeah.
shows
It
you
does
are
not
human
disappoint.
for sure.
Yes, it did
Oh
not
my goodness.
disappoint.
But anyway, I want to thank everyone in the chat. We've taken up enough of her time. And
Yes,
God,
thank
I
you
can't
so
tell you how much
much.
I appreciate you.
What a blessing. I will share this link with me. You just got to make it real simple for me, and then I'll put it on Esther, Cindy.
Yes. And I
Mhm.
will yeah. Just stick
Or
around for
whatever it
1
is you can
second.
do from this. I don't know what you can do from this. See, this is why I do my videos in my car.
We'll get
Technology.
you back on. That's what we'll do.
That'd be great.
Yes.
Oh,
Right.
yes,
I'll have
definitely.
actual
That would be
tissues instead of the
amazing.
sheets in the bed to make me cry.
Thank
Not
you
pretty.
so much, everyone, as
You did
always,
pretty
for
good
being
today.
here.
You're welcome. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night,
Bye.
everyone. We appreciate you all.